Good morning. Wildflowers, flowers. Let's check flowers that we have in our garden this spring for free. So you can make bouquet out of flowers that you have for free in your own garden. Today is May 28, 2020. Let's check them out. So I'll call them spring flowers. First, we have this one. I forgot the name of the plant, but that's a medicinal plant. And it's good to use as mulch. And it's flowering already. So very beautiful. Before, I won't say before, but at the end of school year, my kids will ask if they can take some flowers to school to give to their teacher. So early in the morning on that day, I will come outside with scissors and harvest different type of flowers that I will find and keep it on the table for their dad to put it together for them so that they can give it to their teacher. So this one, I don't know what is the name, and if you know any that I don't know, you can let me know as well in the comments. But that's the leaves here. That's where it's coming from. That's very long. Shoot that came from the middle. And we have this one, but I'll show you more later. There is more that are not flowering yet, and many of the flowers were here before we moved in, and I tried to take some down to have space to grow my vegetables, and I moved some to the front as well. But they are so hardy and resilient that most of them came back. So let's check them out. We probably may not go deep in the garden because we have a lot of flowers at the edge of the garden. So we have daisy. I did a video and I wanted to talk about this flower because it was not even blooming at that time and I didn't remember the name, but that's daisy. So I have a lot outside of the garden in the lawn right against the fence. And they can be quite beautiful because I have a lot of purple flowers in the garden. It makes a good contrast. So you can see them here, and some of them are inside, but there is some other flowers, wildflowers, that are not flowering yet. And in fact, I think we might have to get in the garden because there is a flower there that I may not capture from here. Let's zoom in. And we have the strawberries that are flowering here too, but we are not going to add them to our bouquet, are we? And it has been raining a lot in here. It has been raining a lot here, so everything is just growing so wild. And you can see we have creeping Charlie that is flowering, and I have a lot of them here. We have garlic mustard flowering. And that's daisy. And if you know the name of this flower, you can let me know. That's a white flower, but very beautiful. We'll see at the edge of the garden as well. It used to be at the edge of the property between my neighbor and I, but now I've been seeing it in the garden a lot, at the edge, more on my property, but now in the garden as well. And there is this that is not flowering yet, but is coming close to open. But the reason we came in the garden is this flower here. I don't know if you know the name, but sometimes I will chop it down to have space around the plants that are growing. So yeah, I don't know the name of it, but it could be added to the bouquet as well. And as you can see, things are growing. Well, but let's get back out. Everything is growing just like a weed. Yeah, but there is a lot of weed here anyway. And that's asparagus trying to flower as well. It's quite tall. And that's our backyard. We do have chives that is flowering. You can add it to the bouquet. You can add few to the bouquet if you want. Usually I don't like to cut flowers to make a bouquet for the house. I only do that when the kids wanted to give some to their teachers at school. And I prefer to admire the flowers in the garden, because they can just be quite beautiful, and they can be source of food for the bees as well. And having a lot of fruit trees in the garden, I think that's a good thing to have flowers in the garden to help to attract bees or all the insects that can help pollinate your fruit trees. Unless they are on my way, I don't usually do anything to them. So we continue our trip admiring our spring flowers. Let me close this well. And we are still in the backyard looking for flowers. And we found that medicinal plant. I don't know why I cannot remember the name. I know the name, but it's very good to chop it up. It's like a living mulch to use for your plants. And here we have a beautiful flowers. So it used to be in the garden somewhere at the back, and I don't think it get the praise it deserves by being hidden. So I will show you where I dug some from to bring it here. And I believe that's iris. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I'm going to call it iris. And that's purple flower as well. Very beautiful. And I have it here pretty much in the grass. Very beautiful. And that could be added to our bouquet if we are making one. And as you can see, we are pretty much at the end of my property, but all this area up to the wood and a little bit past the wood is my property. But you can see how I have those flowers. That flower that I say is wild flower that I don't know the name. This flower how they are here. A lot of them. Very beautiful. And it will be easy to harvest some to make a bouquet. Or if I'm chopping them out of here to make roots for some of my plants that are growing here, then I will turn the top. I can make a bouquet out of that. But I prefer to just enjoy them in the garden the way it is, because they are so much here and very beautiful to watch. And I don't know the name of it. You can see the leaves. And very beautiful. And let's continue. We are getting close to the iris original plant. So it's here pretty much at the back of the garden. That's a raspberry patch here before the grass. So it's pretty much at the end of the property, and it's somewhere here. You can see the location. That's a fence here, and then I have the edge of the property there. So it's back here, and I don't think with things that have been growing here, it can be seen from far really, or get enough sun. So I dug some to the front, and I dug some to the edge of the grass as well. So, and at the same time, this one is peonies, if I'm saying it right, peonies or peonies. So I dug some to the front as well, because it's here at the back, makes beautiful flowers. It's not blooming here, but you can see the flower. So I have that here, but it's at the front as well. So that's our beautiful iris. We continue our journey, and they both can be in a bouquet as well. We do have this one, I believe is field creeps. I forgot the name as well for this one, but it does make a little bit of flower, and I think the leaves are edible, like in salad. And it started raining again, so I don't know if we'll be able to finish our tour, but let's see what we can do. Yeah, it has been raining a lot, so we are walking to the front, and you can still see those beautiful flowers here. We have daisy here by the edge of the building. We have Egyptian onion that are transplanted here, and we do have this plant here. Let me see. Is it the true iris? I think it has been broken. Yeah, it could be the rains we have been having. So when it's blooming, it can be very beautiful. Is it iris? I think this is iris. It's the bigger one of the other one. Am I right? Let me know in the comments if you know about this. It has a flatter leaves though. So, and we can see some on the ground. I'll try to lift it a little bit. And it can be very beautiful when I cut some of them for my kids to add it to the bouquet they are making for their teacher. So that's, I don't know if I'll be able to open it, but yeah. So they are blooming at this point, and I have a yellow. Okay, I have one here. I have the orange one. Isn't that beautiful? And look at the leaves. Can be very flat. So what is the name? Of that one? We have another one that fell down. And we continue. We do have our white flower here, and that's the front yard pretty much. And you can see some of the one that I was talking about that I'm calling iris that are transplanted here. They are here at the edge of the fence, doing well as well. They are in the garden doing great. And as you can see, I have a lot of purple flowers. And the peonies that I transplanted here, yeah, they are doing okay. And let me just, you can see at the edge of the garden, because that's a front yard that I turned into garden, our front food garden. You can see that at the edge of the fence, I transplanted flowers from the backyard to the front, to the edge of the garden. So you can see that this is a very big tree in my front yard, and around the tree I put a lot of flowers there as well. So all of that are flowers. And then I have the fruit trees and the vegetables, but you can see them, some of them are flowering already. And I have the peonies here that is getting close to open up. And we do have a lot of my so-called iris here, purple. And we continue. We still have it here. And we have chives that is flowering here. And we do have a lot of that flower that is not flowering. It's more a shade tolerant type of flower, those with the big leaves. But we do have our iris, and we have clementines. Am I calling it right? When we moved here, I think there were two color type, and I transplanted the other one here, but deer bothered it and it didn't survive. But this one was able to survive, and when I fenced the yard, I included in it so that they stop bothering it. And it has been doing very well. And not one year I cut it down, but last year I noticed that they came back on those dead stems. So this year I didn't cut it down in spring. I just let them, and you can see that they grow back on those stems that were here. If I can find one, you can see it. Do you see this one here? That's this year growth, but you can see that it's on the brown color one. So yeah, the green are this year growth, and this is last year growth, but they are growing on them. So I just let them look brown on the fence, but they came back, and they didn't have to grow back from the ground since I didn't cut them down, and they are full of flowers. So that's very beautiful, and I have it at the corner of the fence growing there, and that's very beautiful to look at. And growing a garden in the front yard, yeah, I wanted to make it look a little bit pleasing by putting the flowers at the edge of the fence. So And we do have this flower here that I don't know the name, and I took from the back here as well. So that is our spring flowers that are blooming that we can enjoy for free, and we can easily make a bouquet out of as well. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojune Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and owners of Nina Soap. And our website is ninasoap.com.